Okay, so here we are to review. So Newton has 3 laws of motion. His first law is called the law of inertia. Of inertia, where an object that is moving will remain moving. An object at rest will remain at rest unless an unbalanced force acts upon it. We talked about the difference between weight and mass. So remember, your weight is the force of gravity acting upon you, where your mass is like actually how much stuff you're made out of, and the mass doesn't change, but your weight may change if you are in an area that has higher or lower gravitational pull. So we did some examples with that. Then we talked about Newton's second law, and Newton's second law is force equals mass times acceleration. Note that it is the net force, right, which sometimes we have to then maybe calculate the force of friction or something along those sorts of lines. Keep in mind too that something that has more mass will resist the change in motion more than something with a low mass. We then talked about Newton's third law, which is that for every action there is an equal but opposite reaction. And we talked about how the forces that either a collision or like an explosion situation have on each other are going to be equal. So if there's, a heavy delivery truck hitting, a small compact car, because they will exert the same amount of force on each other, the accelerations must be different. Why? Because force equals mass times acceleration. If the forces are the same, then we know that the mass times the acceleration of the big truck will be equal to the mass times the acceleration of the little car. And because the big truck will be much more massive, it must have a smaller acceleration than the car would. The car will have a bigger acceleration change, and the reason for that is because of its small mass, in order to compensate and make sure that the forces are equal. With that was pretty much the 3 laws, so make sure that you know, right? Newton's first law is that of inertia, second law is that of force equals mass times acceleration, third law is action-reaction.